Inspired by the prevalence of recycling in places such as San Francisco and Tokyo, and the resourcefulness of the people of Vietnam and Thailand, they started their business in an exposed shop floor back in 1997. Junky is an innovative design-led label. All of their garments are made from the highest quality second-hand clothing, which is deconstructed, recut and completely transformed. The New Yorker described it as an can't seem to say this word today, an eccentrically chic line of mutant couture. A focus and belief in individuality means that no two garments are ever exactly the same, and a design concept which has led Vogue to describe Junky as high fashion street couture. So, as well as dressing countless celebrities, they're a founding member of the Ethical Fashion Forum and have received awards such as the RSPCA Good Business Award.
So we went travelling, we got a ticket and we were in Thailand and Vietnam, and then we came back. I think we were only gone for about 6 months, and then we came back and we went to New York, and it was on this trip, so we were just 21 and we went to New York, open-ended ticket for a year, and we stayed there, and then we went to San Francisco, and instantly, San Francisco really, we stayed there for quite a while, and just they were recycling everything, you know, and this is a while ago. And where we were staying in our apartment, they already had the tin and the glass, and as I say, this was a while ago, and so we were and there's an area in San Francisco called Haight-Ashbury, and I don't know if anyone's been, but it's kind of in the Golden Gate Park, and it was where all the hippies were, I think, but they had a massive thrift culture there, and there was this one particular place called Bulletproof, and they did a wicked boat party, which is why I remember it specifically. But their actual store, they had this kind of concept and idea that it was almost like a pound for a pound, so you could take a bundle of your clothes and how much it weighed, it would translate to dollars, and that's how much credit you'd get in the store. And this is a long time ago, and it was just such an amazing idea. And then we left there, and then we got jobs, and we went to Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong we were then in Tokyo, and then we kind of came back, and at this stage we had quite a wardrobe ourselves individually of different clothes, and we got such an amazing response, and it was like, oh my God, we must run back now to London, and we must start a business before anyone else does. The reason that we did, I mean, obviously it was cheap, our time was for nothing. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't have the skills to cut anything from a piece of cloth. Mm-hmm. So it was more seeing about the features and cutting it up and making it then relevant to us and what we wanted to do. So that was why. And we've stuck very much, we're kind of known for our suiting stuff because the fabrics are just so brilliant. Yeah. I mean, things have changed a lot since we started, mainly to do with sourcing. Clothes now have a value, I mean, it's off the scale, really, what kind of happens, and just the stories you hear about clothing banks and then being robbed and then being found, and just madness. And also, like, we work with kind of textile merchants who have just seen their level of textiles coming through just diminish, mm-hmm. because of things like vintage, because of things like eBay, you know, because of, I think, just all of these different ways. And also people don't make suits like they used to, so that real hard wearing quality suit stuff now, potentially M&S is doing washable stuff, or potentially, you know, Primark is busting a suit. And so I don't know how that's going to translate for kind of second-hand clothes moving forward in the future, you know, like vintage atmosphere or vintage, I don't know how that's going to work. No, when we came back, well, no. No, I think it was, obviously everything was self-taught. I mean, you know, since then I've done like pattern courses, yeah, and the likes. I mean, but as a teen, as a late teen, you know, I don't think there's any age that is too late to get involved with that, and I could not encourage somebody to get hold of a sewing machine soon enough and experiment. Sometimes the hardest thing is taking the scissors to the clothing, in the first place, to do in the deconstruct. But I think once you shaky hands. But I think that once you kind of get around that, then
you get the fear. You're like, no, maybe I will just wear it like this one day.
Yes,
even though you haven't worn it for years.
But you won't. This is the whole thing, and this is why we had our book as wardrobe surgery, and this is why I think we're possibly still in business. Excuse me. Because even from those very first times, and in Kensington Market, we just had this random collection of things, which was our range, and somebody would come in and be like, I love that, but have you got it either in my size or have you got it in blue? And it'd be like, no, but we can make it. Oh, can you? Great. Well, I've got some amazing fabric. Can I bring it in? Yeah, okay. So from the very beginning, really, we had the whole wardrobe surgery, and we had the making for you. And thank the Lord, really, that we did, because when we moved across to the east side, because at one point we kind of had a studio somewhere else, which obviously was a bedroom. Call it a studio, it was a bedroom. And we had Kensington Market stall, and then we had the Halfers shop in the Truman Brewery. And I think really the guy that we shared it with, a lovely guy, but it was vinyl, so he had a record shop, and you need footfall for that, and there was nothing. So he didn't last especially long, and so that's when we put everything into one, and then we moved everything across, and we made people come across to us for that. So luckily we were in Kensington long enough to get a little bit of a client base.
So do you make all of the wardrobe surgery pieces?
Yes.
So the wardrobe surgery, if you're not aware about it, it's when you can take your own things, and the amazing team will come up with an idea, and you can go in with a little bit of an idea of something that you want. I took in 2 coats of mine that I'd had one since I was 16 that had never fitted me, but it was in the sale and it was purple. And then another one that I picked up in Bulgaria when I was a student, and I kind of knew I wanted a hood, and I knew I wanted the hood to be purple, but I didn't really know what else I wanted, and it was just amazing. Like, every time I wear that coat I get so many compliments, and they even put woolen hand warmers in, because I like to have hand warmers over my hands, and it's just all these amazing features. And so you've done hundreds of these now. Hundreds and maybe thousands.
I don't even want to think back that far. No, we've done loads, and it's really brilliant, because it's perfect for us to do that. It's always a great experience to be working with somebody one-on-one. There's no 2 projects that are the same, but also, and some of them are definitely more challenging than others. But I think that you can kind of reach a mid-ground, and I think that sometimes, well, not even sometimes, I think that everybody knows if they've bought something that it might be too short, or it might be too big or too long, or and you're not wearing it. You're not wearing it, and you've invested in it, and you might have worn it in the past, but you don't wear it now, and it's just like, well, why would you want to buy something new to replace it when you can get that one fixed up?